it. So it should give you a notification that it's recording now. So we record now. Don't give me no information you don't want the law to have. You know, that's the regular. So we live, y'all. So the two people that's on here, if you are if you want to speak, you can speak. If you are an entrepreneur, please tell me what your business is, and so I know a little bit more about what you do.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Bob.
All right, my name's Bill Kavanaugh. Great, I am building a company. The name of the company is A2B Transportation. I provide first and last leg vacation travel with a focus on the active 55 plus community. I'm building a network of independent drivers to fulfill those leads that I can generate. Eventually, A2B will be a lead gen company with the leads being fulfilled by a membership-based platform for drivers who pay reoccurring monthly fees to access to the leads and other benefits I can provide.
That's what's up. You know, we talked about it before. I met him from the ad. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, this ad ain't. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not one of those marketers yet. I'm not the big marketers that's like, hey, F you, go figure it out. I'm like, look, man, let's get on the call. Let's get it straightened out. And that's what's up. And he got in the community and he here today. That's good business begets good business, y'all. So I see Robert join. Robert, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, actually, I'm in the transportation myself. I just started, and everything's been a 1099, so I'm trying to get everything situated as far as I'm still new to everything, so I'm just here to learn.
All right, that's my guy. Letitia, you wanna talk? It's breaking up a little bit.
But oh yeah, I'm involved in a lot of things, EV charging stations, also insurance agent. So that's about it right now.
Yeah, but you get into the bag. So what all of us understand is entrepreneurs. I know Robert personally. I've seen him hustle and hustle and hustle. So we get used to hustling. I come from a hustling background. It wasn't always a legal hustle, but I've made sure that I'm legal now. Yeah, it wasn't always a legal hustle. I'm very upfront about that. Oh no, I did the time. I already did the time. I'm here, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I changed my life. I wouldn't middleman a nickel bag of weed at this point. I went back to school. I got an associate's degree in 19. I got my bachelor's in last year, and I just got my master's a few months ago. And I believe in the system. I used to believe that everything was about the hustle. Now I understand that it's more about the system. So once you get the right systems in place, you're not working as hard. You know, the hard work is up front. You got to get your momentum built. But once you put the right systems in place, trust me, business is not that hard. It's literally about just doing more of what worked and doing less of what's not working. And that's how you perfect your system. So today I sent out a basic outline, just a topic of what we'll cover today. So as an entrepreneur, we are subject to a lot of static and a lot of noise in our personal life and our business. And I wanted to go over a few things that will help us get more clarity in our business and get more clarity in our life. I believe that entrepreneurship is a mix of both. You can't be a successful entrepreneur unless you get the things in your personal life in order. So that's why I ended up doing the course Real Life XP, and that was the course that I ran the ads for. If you haven't started it or whatever, I'm not tripping. It's there, it's free, but the course is like 5 hours long, and it's all about being an entrepreneur. It's not a business course technically, it's an entrepreneur course, because I start off with the entrepreneurial mindset, and then I talk about actually setting up the right systems and processes in your business. And then I get into funding and building business credit and applying for different things like that. So I have a different understanding of entrepreneurship. As I said, I have been an entrepreneur on one side of the law all of my life, pretty much. But now I'm totally on this side, and I'm telling y'all, life is so much easier when you have the right system in place. I had a coaching client last night who's making a great deal of money, but he does not have a system in place. Like, he making a lot of money, like well over 6 figures, and he don't have a system in place. And he told me, like, look, I lost like 2,000 or 3,000 this week because I didn't respond to emails in the right time. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good problem to have. but it's still a problem with your processes. It's a problem with not having the right systems and processes. And that's what I do as a coach. That's why I call myself an entrepreneur acceleration coach, because it's all about having the right mindset and then having the right systems in place. So the static that I'm speaking about in our personal life and our business is people. We have people, we have different things, we have other things that get our attention, like social media, we have Netflix. It's so many things that could get your attention and keep you away from building your business. That is a problem in itself. And I wanted to start off these weekly sessions with this particular issue, because it's hard to get to anything else if you can't get your head in the right space, right? So the right space is not a perfect space. It's not you have to have some type of work-life balance or you'll drive yourself crazy. But it's a lot of things that's not pertinent to us and what we're doing that we get caught up in. So I used to get phone calls about everything except what I wanted to get phone calls about a year or so ago. I decided that I didn't want to take those phone calls anymore, right? So the phone calls that's regarding gossip and guess he did this, she did this, whatever, guess what they got going on, I start ignoring those phone calls and they start coming less and less. They start coming less and less. So as I'm ignoring these phone calls, I realize I'm getting more done because I'm not worried about what the next person is doing. I'm not even focused on anything other than what my particular plan is or what my particular action is that I need to get done. So that's what I want to talk about in at a larger scope. I'll go into a few details as we get through this. I'm gonna try to get this done in 60 minutes. I know everybody is busy. As I say, I'm a fellow entrepreneur. I'm very respectful of time. So what happens is we are entrepreneurs. We run our businesses. We do our thing. We end up taking on superhero characteristics. So people around us feel like they could dump all of their mess on us, or they can get all of this advice. It's just a natural thing, especially as you start being successful at something. People feel like you got the answers, right? I get people calling me about stuff I have no clue about. Like, I'm like, dude, I don't even know about that. So we have to have a plan first, because if you don't have a plan first and you don't have an actual goal that you're trying to accomplish, then you will let anything throw you off. So the main thing as an entrepreneur, you need to have a plan first. And if you don't have this structured out and you don't have your day planned out and say, look, I don't have time for A, B, and C because I'm doing D, E, and F, right? You have to have a plan first. So if you don't have the plan, you don't even realize when you're doing things that's outside of what you really need to be doing, because it's a slippery slope being an entrepreneur. You wake up, you're at your own disposal as far as your schedule. You at your own disposal as far as the actions you do throughout the day. So if you are not mentally prepared to handle these things, then you put yourself in a bind and you leave yourself open to, hey, I was wondering if you could pick X, Y, if you could pick J up from the store, or if you could bring me something to eat. You like, yeah, I make my own schedule. That don't mean I need to be on your schedule, right? But when you actually have a plan for your day, you actually have goals set out, then you know when to say no. So that's why the first thing is that you need to create boundaries. If you are not creating boundaries, then a lot of things will be dumped on you, because people that are not entrepreneurs are not respectful of your time, because they feel like you got all day. They don't realize what you're doing. They don't understand that even when you're not working, you're studying something, or you're in a Zoom like this to try to get some type of clarity on what you're doing. They don't understand that, because they go about their day, and if they're not at work, whatever time that is, 8 to 3, 9 to 5, whatever, they feel like when they're not at work, they're at they have the freedom to do whatever they want to do. So they don't respect you not actually having to clock in somewhere. So you have to set those boundaries, and then you have to set the boundaries around whatever your workspace is, right? So if I work outside of my home, right? I work in my house. So I have to make sure that my children understand when I'm working, I don't need to be bothered. I had to make sure my fiance understand when I'm working, that doesn't mean because I'm in the house, you could text me, hey, can you go do such and such for me? Because I'm actually working. And work sometimes looks different for me. Right now I'm on a Zoom, but I may be reading a book and taking some kind of notes on marketing or whatever. That's still work to me because I'm studying. My space should be respected. So if you could get the space that you need within your home or within your office, then once you create the boundaries, people are going to respect the boundaries. I had to learn that because I found myself being drug around. Like I could be planning to do this Zoom and my kids may text me or call me and say, hey, I need you to fix my bike. I need this. It'd be like the smallest things. And I'm like, dang, now I got to get back in my zone. So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today are things that I've learned with experience, right? So anybody want to expound on that or, talk about any type of situation they had with a lack of boundaries and how it affected them? It's a group meeting, y'all. I ain't preaching to the choir. Y'all all entrepreneurs. He can't Rob like, I don't know, I'm just listening. So y'all cool. We can zoom through the meeting. I got other touch points I wanna come across. So it's all good. It's the first one. We'll work it out, as we go along, but I want to do these weekly. So, and next week we'll talk about a different subject. So I'm not selling anything on these. It's not that type of meeting. So another thing that we have to do is practice our mindfulness, right? You have to understand that life can get cluttered. And your personal life can get cluttered. Your workspace can get cluttered because you are literally working your ass off. So you may not take the time to clean up your workspace, even a little dusting. You may not take the time to do that, right? So you may not take the time to, to make sure your emails are going through properly or whatever. You don't take the time to do regular maintenance. And that's the same thing that's on yourself. So you may lose sleep. I was big on that. I'm literally just learning that go to sleep. Go to sleep. I haven't had caffeine in 2 months because I was living off of caffeine the past 3 years. Like literally living off of caffeine. I'm talking 2-3 energy drinks a day. I may have a cup of coffee between then, like literally living off of caffeine. It was like the gas, right? And it's not healthy. I may have 3 hours of sleep and 3 or 4 different caffeines throughout the day because I felt like I needed the time to do whatever I needed to do. But if you unclutter everything, if you unclutter your calendar, if you unclutter your space that you work in, if you unclutter everything, right? Even your car, different things like that, then you are able to think clearly. Just being honest, you're able to think clearly, and that's important. If you are working towards a goal and you are not able to get the clarity that you need to see what's going on, then once again, you are allowing yourself to open up boundaries that people are willing to come across. So you could, a lot of times you have so much information, right? Even some of the people that clicked on the ad, I'm talking to leads like daily, and I talked to somebody and they told me, oh man, I click on everything. You know what I'm saying? I click on everything. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's cool, but it's a lack of clarity. You got to narrow down what you're clicking on because it's so much stuff that'll get your attention. And I was that person. But for like 2-3 years, I was that person. I'm being honest. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to miss this information. Oh, that was you that I talked to. That's like, yeah, I click on everything. So I'm just saying that's crazy. He over here. I forgot who it was, but it was him. I remember he said that. That's crazy. It was you. So, and people say I click on everything, and for what? It's a lack of clarity. If you clicking on everything, I'm not clicking on. I don't want to do Airbnb. I don't need to click on your Airbnb course, right? I don't need to click on whatever else. So the once you get clarity, then you know what can actually help, right? And I made this particular day, these Wednesdays, because I was tired of people getting me on a workshop just to sell me on whatever system they got or whatever thing they got. Like, I'm never selling anything come Wednesday. I'm never selling anything. I'm not here to sell anything, bro. I hated it. And I understand it's the way that they teaching it. Once you start doing marketing, you start realizing like this is how they're teaching it. You give a little information and then you go in for the sale. You do a little bit of this, you go in for the sale. But I'm not here to sell anything. I just want us to be able to communicate because some of us don't have other entrepreneurs that we can communicate with regularly. You may have a partner that's not an entrepreneur, and they don't understand what you have going on. Right? They don't understand what you're going through as far as I'm talking about uncluttering and having some type of clarity. So once you get clarity in what you want to do, then you will know what courses are actually help. You will know what type of coach you want, right? You will know what type of systems and processes you need. So you're not trying out everything. And that type of clarity, it'll help you clear up your schedule. So now instead of spending 2 or 3 hours on Zooms that don't help you do anything, you're just retaining more and more information. You got 100 notebooks for what? Right? And it's the same concept when you do something like this. So if you leave here today with 2 nuggets of information and two things that you can actually take away from here, then you left with something valuable. You don't have to write 4 pages of notes, because you're not going back to read those 4 pages of notes realistically, because you're off to write notes on the next thing, like the next thing you click on, right? You off to write notes on the next master class. And then these master classes are all over the place. Somebody gonna tell you don't run ads. Somebody gonna tell you do run ads. Somebody gonna tell you don't sell to your friends. Somebody gonna tell you gotta start with your friends. Like, people are all over the place. And if you're just soaking up all of this information, it'll literally have you chasing your tail around here, right? So everybody have a clear vision of what their business is. The only thing you should be focusing on is how to grow your business, right? That's what you have to focus on, right? Go ahead, Robert, handle your business. So, all right. So that's all you have to do is focus on how to actually grow your business. What is going to help you move the needle in your business? Everything's not going to help you move the needle. Some things are good for conversation, right? You may know something, right? You know a little something that somebody don't know, and they may ask you, hey, how did you learn that? Well, I seen this guy and he ran an ad. I clicked on the ad and I came to a meeting on Wednesday. That's how I learned it. And it make you seem a little smarter than them, because he told me something that opened my eyes to something. No idea is original. Nothing I'm gonna say in these meetings is anything that you probably haven't seen somewhere or you were not able to read. I got a whole library behind me, but I read a lot. But I haven't read every single book in my library. I probably only read like a third of them, right? Because it's so much information that you could get stuck taking notes. You can get stuck trying to remember everything. It's pointless, right? We have to get to the point that we take what we need and we get rid of the fat. That's what you have to do as an entrepreneur, whatever the situation is. If somebody made a valid post on social media, right? I do these small snippets. I do a lot of these snippets on my social media channels, and people share them a lot. And these snippets are like 60 seconds to 90 seconds mostly. And I can get a lot of information out in 60 to 90 seconds. So why come and listen to me for 60 to 90 minutes if you can get the same nugget in 60 to 90 seconds? Right? The important thing is not that you are retaining information or that you're getting information. The important thing is that you're actually using the information. You have to be able to use the information. If it's information that you are not able to use, you need to be able to throw it away. And that doesn't mean at some point in the future, it may not be useful information. But when you go into anything at this point, it's your time, and your time is your money. Whether it's reading an ebook, whether it's watching a workshop, whatever it is, whether it's attending some networking event. I hear people talk about networking events and different things like that. And it's like, who are you networking with? Nobody in your event is anywhere you want to be. Y'all literally just got together to talk about how the struggle. Y'all got together to talk about the struggle. Like, hey, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, man. You looking for a manufacturer? Yeah, me too. Right? So this is time consuming. You have to understand what you're doing so you can know what not to do. I don't need to join every group on Facebook. I don't need to join every group on Facebook. It's a bunch of noise. It's a bunch of noise. I don't have to follow every page on Facebook. Sometimes I see something and be like, oh, that was dope. I like it and keep it moving, because the other material is not something pertinent. It's a bunch of noise. Right? You don't have to keep up with every series. It's a bunch of noise. I haven't watched a series in a long time. It's a bunch of noise. Right? And I'm like a little compulsive. So I start watching something, I got to finish it. Right. I press play, and as long as the first show get my attention, I'm like, I got to watch all 12 seasons this weekend. I'm like that. I got to watch all 12 seasons this weekend. Like, you know what I mean? So we have to have a plan. The main thing is that we have a plan. Once you have a plan and you understand your plan fully, then you know the type of people you need to be around. You know the type of places you need to be in. You know everything that's not pertinent to what you're doing and how to get rid of it. At that point, if you are not getting rid of what you know is not conducive to what you're trying to do, then you can't blame anybody but yourself. Once you know better, it's your fault. Right? So this is all about quieting the noise. The noise could be, like I said, social media, TV. The noise could be your family, your friends, a bunch of people that don't care whether you succeed or fail until you succeed, and then they want something. But it could be whatever, right? So another important thing is that you prioritize things, right? So we all have commitments. We all have different things that we want to do, and we have things that we have to do, right? My daughter is a cheerleader. She won nationals last year. And I really wanted to go to nationals. I live in Detroit. Nationals was in Florida, and then globals were in New Jersey. So she went to both, probably like 6 weeks apart. And I would have loved to have been in Florida instead of Detroit in the winter. I would have loved to have been in Florida in January. I would have loved it, right? But I had responsibilities. I was finishing school. I had other things going on. But in your business, not having a clear plan, you don't even realize what's a priority and what's not a priority. Posting on social media is not a priority most of the time, unless your business comes directly from these posts, right? But to sit on social media and post all day, and that's not how you get your customers, it's a waste of time. It may make you feel better, like, hey, I'm marketing. That's not marketing. Just posting on social media is not marketing, right? It's not marketing. So you could be doing something a little more beneficial to your business with that block of time. Now, it is important that you post content on social media, but you have to have your system in place to where that content is actually going to bring you more business, right? So that's something that we have to understand as entrepreneurs, that the priorities have to come first, right? So once you understand the priorities, you can simplify your life. This is not important. If it's something that can be delegated, delegate it. If it's something your kids could do, have your kids do it. Anything that you don't have to do, you shouldn't be doing it, because some things require your attention and some things don't, right? So another thing that need to be done to get some clarity in your business and to quiet the static and the noise is that you have to detox from social media. So I do something that I call, well, not that I call, it's something that's called monk mode. That's why I haven't had caffeine in two months, because I was doing all the caffeine and I went into monk mode last year. I did it twice last year. And every time, the day after I was out of monk mode, it was 21 days twice last year. And both times I just went back to drinking the caffeine again. Both times. This year I did it for 21 days earlier in the year, and then about 2 months ago I did it for 35 days, right? So I did it for 28 days. I apologize. I did it for 28 days. And once I did it for 28 days and I didn't have caffeine for 4 months, I was like, for 4 weeks, I apologize. I was like, I'm good. I'm not about to keep doing this and going back and drinking all this caffeine. Now, it don't mean I'll never have caffeine again in my life, but I've been pretty good at it for 2 months now. I haven't had a cup of caffeine. I haven't had an energy drink, anything like that, because I realized I was constantly going back to that habit. And if you can break a habit for 4 weeks, then you shouldn't have a habit. It's literally mental. So, once I realized that, you have to detox sometimes, and during monk mode, I don't do a lot of social media. Like I make sure I'm not scrolling. I'm actually in monk mode now. So I literally just post and I try to get off of there. I make whatever post, and I use a scheduling tool sometimes too. So sometimes I'm posting from there, but I do as least social media as needed during monk mode. I do as least as needed. And that's something that we have to get a hold of, because some of us, we are literally social media scroll, and you look up, it's been 2 or 3 hours. And I found myself doing that a few months back. Scrolling a bunch of stuff that don't mean nothing, a bunch of crybabies, a bunch of whatever, like just scrolling. And it doesn't do anything for your business for the most part. It doesn't do anything for your business. So detoxing from social media is very important. And you can detox from other forms of media. You can detox from TV, anything else you look up and you spending 2-3 hours a day doing, and it's not bringing you the returns that you really want, then it's time to step back and let it go. So physical activity. We had to get used to being physical, right? I spent a lot of time in my computer, and in monk mode, one of the things is that you work out 7 days a week. I already work out 3 to 4 days a week in my regular schedule. So actually ramping it up to 7 days a week. And that doesn't mean I get to the gym 7 days a week. Like, because I had to do this, I didn't go to the gym today. But what I did was push-ups, sit-ups, and I did some other calisthenics. So I do something 7 days out the week, right? And that's important in monk mode. But in your regular life, you have to get up and move. You have to get up and move. You don't have to lift weights. You can go walk for 30 minutes to an hour a day. You can do something physical, because it gets your blood pumping and make you feel better. And I usually try to be physical as early as possible. If I can get to the gym at 5, 6 o'clock during the weekdays, I want to be there at 5 or 6 o'clock. If I can get to the gym at 7:30 or 8 o'clock on the weekends, I want to be there at 8 o'clock. You want to be physical. You do not want to sit down all day and not be physical, because your body gets to get used to a lack of activity, right? And it's common studies that everything is ramped up with exercise. You're gonna feel better about yourself, so you're gonna have a better day in your business. It's gonna make sure you wake up. That's why I like to do it early. It's gonna keep you up. It's gonna get your juices flowing, and that's important in entrepreneurship, y'all. You gotta move around, and that's a way that you can clear your head. So that's another step in actually clearing your mind. A lot of times we feel like we have to do everything. And one of the last things I'm gonna cover is actually delegating things, right? So once again, there's things that you have to do, and there's things that you don't have to do. You don't have to be a superhero and do everything that needs to be done in your business. I was terrible at that. I was trying to make websites. I was doing all my automation. I was doing so much, right? And about 3 months ago is when I met my marketing team. Those are the guys who put my ads together. They actually put the ads together and run the ads, right? And I met them, and it was such a relief, because they redid all my websites. I had been pit-patting at my websites. I've been pit-patting at a funnel, and I wasn't completely satisfied with a funnel, with the funnels that I was doing. And they came along, and they did cost a little money, but the money gave me time to do what I actually wanted to do, which is things like start my group and make this type of thing up and get I was actually able to get my course done. And what else it did was it put a fire under my ass, right? Because I had been BSing with the course and BSing with building a group and BSing. But once I started paying them for stuff, it was like, okay, this costing you, right? So that's another thing that we do as entrepreneurs. We don't have anybody to hold us accountable, because we're running a business. So if we don't do what we're supposed to do, is nobody there to say, hey, why aren't you doing this? And I realized that when I started working with the marketing team, it was things that I could do that may take 5 minutes, but I get so busy that I literally forget. And they would reach out to me like, hey boss, why wasn't this done? Why didn't you record this video for the ad? Why didn't it? Like, they would literally reach out to me, and I'm like, dang, right? So I started getting better at actually scheduling things and actually being a little more, planning a little more, because it was somebody there to be like, hey, why isn't this done? Why didn't you give us the information for this particular page or whatever? Like, you said you have it done today. So you need to have something there to hold you accountable, whether it's you writing in a planner, a notebook, like, look, I want to do A, B, C, D, E, F today. or this week, and something has to hold you accountable. Write it down. If the least you could do is write it down. If somebody is, and I talked to you about that, Bill, about actually having a coach or you was already looking for somebody. I remember the conversation. You had already like spoke to someone. They didn't do exactly what you're doing, but they had, some information that could help. And that will help you as an entrepreneur. We are trying to figure everything out. And it's terrible. I have two particular coaches that I work with that mentor me. They're not necessarily coaches, they're actually mentors. The difference is a coach is somebody you pay to help you, and then a mentor is somebody that just basically sees some kind of promise in you and take you under their wing. So I have two people that's been in their business, well, one for about 15 years and one for 20. And they actually give me like great information. I can run stuff by them. Like I may run copy by them and they say, well, this is cool, but this, I may run website ideas by them or different offer ideas by them. And they say, yeah, that's cool. Maybe you need to add a little more of this. Right. So you need somebody to hold you accountable, whether it's a coach, a mentor. The main thing is that you find somebody that traveled along the road before you and they can guide you along the road. Everything else is going to be hard if you try to do everything yourself. Right? So I'm going to ask again, if anybody got any questions or comments, y'all want to expound on anything that was presented? I love it. I swear I ain't tripping.
I can agree with and identify with the whole lack of movement. I drive. That's what I do. So it's like sitting at an office desk, but when I get home, I have to go sit at my office desk because I've got systems and things that I have to do. So I spend probably 90% of my waking day sitting down. I need to start to exercise. So that actually meant something. And when you were talking about the noise, over the course of my life, I've just tuned it out. I can't listen to it. And yes, there are times when my brain just has to go into neutral and I play a stupid game on my phone, or I'm just sitting there watching whatever my wife is watching. But I don't look at those anymore as being noisy times. Those are times that I'm just getting my breath again, getting ready to start running again. I'm just letting my brain not do something, like just letting it float for a minute. Yeah, so that's what I got out of what you were talking about.
Definitely. Anybody else? So just to touch a little bit on what you expounded on, it's definitely a time to relax. Definitely. I just drove myself crazy. My sister is on here. This is my sister, Sanika Goodlow. That's my sister. So my sister Nika, she could listen. They was like, I don't know how you do it. Like, listen, my sister came here for about a week. She was like, I was on it. I had homework, different, like so much stuff, but that's my comfort zone.
Yep.
Right? It's my comfort zone. People like, they tell me all the time, I don't know how you get so much done. I'm like, that's my comfort zone. Even since we've been on the phone, I got 16 missed messages since I've been on this Zoom. No joke, 16 mixed messages. I just want to keep looking at my watch. It's an Apple Watch. It just keep going off. I got 16 missed messages and I'm working on 3 different things, right? So that's why I'm not even holding the meeting for 60 minutes. Whenever we done speaking, we can get off here. Like I understand entrepreneurship, y'all. I do so much, but this is my pace.
Yep.
It's literally my pace. I tell everybody this is my pace. I rarely sit down to relax. And when I do, I like watching a basketball game, a football game. You have to have that balance. You have to have that balance. I just stay away from series. I'll watch a movie here and there. I just watched Deadpool a couple days ago, right? I'll watch a movie here and there. I'm not telling anybody you got to work 24/7. So you definitely need the time to relax your mind, right?
Yep.
But you don't want to look up and you spend, like I'm telling you, when they say binge watch, I will literally turn on a series, How to Get Away with Murder. I think it's like 6 seasons or something. I may have done it in a week. I was joking about 12 in 2 days, but I may have watched the 6 seasons in literally like a week, maybe a week and a half. Like it was consistent. And I was in school at the time. It was literally like, I'll do some homework, whatever. Okay, that's done. Let me get back and watch this. I'm so compulsive that I'm back and watching this show. And that's something that I had to learn about myself. Don't start it. Because once I started, I did the same thing with what's the legal one? Blue, now is it blue collar? They lawyers. Whatever. It was one of those. I did the same. I watched like 6, 7 seasons in a few days, like maybe like 6 days. I literally just kept watching like hours a day. Suits. That's what it's called, Suits. I watched Suits and watched it. It may have been 7 or 8 seasons in 2 weeks. So that's the thing I'm saying. When you know that, you know, you get into something like that, that was the last thing I watched. I had to stay away from it. So let me quit watching these series, right? Because it throw you off. And like I said, I had a course that I was building out, the Real Life XP course. I started building that course out in 2022. So it was like 18 months maybe before me actually like outlining the course and then sitting down to actually build it out, like record it and everything. Because one, because I was in school, and two, it was nothing to hold me accountable. When I started working with the marketing team, it was like, look, we almost done with your funnel. You need to record these videos for your ads. Like when they got to doing that and they said, you know, is the course ready? I'm like, nah, it'll be ready next week. Literally, I'm like, it'll be ready next week. I didn't have anything done but this outline. So I literally, it may have took me 2 weeks. I told them next week, but it ended up being about 2 weeks to where I had to get the PowerPoints ready, record it, edit it, everything. Right. And I'm just saying, sometimes you got to focus in. And a lot of times that's just about turning everything off. If it's a deadline to be met, you got to turn everything off. You can't turn the game on while you try to write a report and all. You got to turn everything off and focus up. You may can turn on some music in the background, maybe, depending on if you can focus, just to get you you know, an ambiance and get your mood together. But you hear this with writers. When people write novels, I have one of my friends, Shaka Singer. He is a New York Times bestselling author. And he tell me, he say, man, I got to lock in. So it's times he not responding to text messages. He not responding to anything. He's literally, these 4 or 5 hours out my day for the next month is all about sitting here and writing. You have to have that type of focus. When you look at somebody like Kobe Bryant and you hear them tell stories about Kobe Bryant, that's what Mamba mode is, that having that type of focus. In entrepreneurship, you need that type of focus. You need it. And you don't have to have it 24 hours a day, but if you can have it 4 to 6 hours a day, that type of focus, you'll be successful. If you can have that focus 4 to 6 hours a day, you'll be very successful. And enjoy your weekends. So if it's no more questions, y'all, I'm not going to hold y'all up longer. I know everybody here is busy. That's why I wanted y'all here. So I'm going to be very respectful of y'all time. And, you know, I'm going to come here with my message every Wednesday and answer any questions. And, you know, hear y'all out. Anything y'all want to talk about, we can talk about it. That's what these Wednesdays are about. It's mostly about us coming. Like, no problem, Letitia. Thank you. I'm going to come with a message like I did today, but we can go into, you know, it can go 60 to 90 minutes. I'm blocking my schedule off 60 to 90 minutes. So if it's something that we discuss, people will get more comfortable. People will get more comfortable with each other. And, you know, if you got something going on, let's come here and let's talk about it. Right? We need these type of meetings because it's important as entrepreneurs that we are, you know, we able to help each other figure some things out. What's up, Pooh? I didn't even realize that was you. That's one of my guys. What's up? What? I can't hear you. Your thing off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it on mute. So how y'all doing? Y'all all right?
Yeah.
I had to listen in, man. Always motivational hearing it from you, man, from one of my peers.
Yeah. It's good to see you, man. Rob just left. DJ Dollars just got off of here. Did you catch him? He came on. I think you came on after.
I think I did. I think I missed. I think I came on right when he was jumping off. I
Yeah.
did see somebody leave.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're here, man. You take something from the meeting?
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's always just hearing, especially like with that social media and stuff like that. Like I could be a testament to that and want to incorporate that and just try to incorporate it, just stand off it as much because I get myself looking up and I done experienced it where it's like I done looked up and like, dang, it done been an hour, done went past or
Yeah.
something, and it's like Like I thought I was only on here for like 10 minutes and look up, it's been like an hour or so.
Yeah,
It's like I
and
could have did so much at that time. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna take from that, take from that.
most definitely, and that's what they make it for. We not wrong. They literally they zapping into our brain. That's what they call it, the algorithm. They put us in the
Yeah.
matrix. They like, we know you want to see this. Here goes some more for you. We know you like that. Here goes
Yeah.
some more for you.
I send you that notification when you, as soon as you close it up, it sends you that notification to tell you to open it right back up.
Yep. So that's what the main thing about, y'all. So that's what this was all about, right? It's just getting some clarity in your business. And once you have a plan, it's a lot easier for you to cut the fat. It's a lot easier for you to say, look, this ain't even important right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't even important right now. So if y'all good, if nobody else want to speak, man, we can get out of here, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day and y'all week. I hope to see y'all back next week. Next week, I'll give y'all a subject between the time, right? But it's be the same thing. If we can get in here 30 to 40 minutes, get in and out, that's what it is. It'll get, as I continue to build up the group, it'll be more people in here. But that's the main thing, is that we get in here. If it's 3 people, we can talk about it, and all of us going through the same thing. And it's important to have this type of community, right? So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll talk to y'all next week.